WREG in Memphis. This is News Channel 3 at 5.
Developing information in the coronavirus outbreak affecting our state. Tennessee health officials announcing 3 new cases of COVID-19 today, bringing the state's total to 7.
The number of cases in our region remains at 1. 2 of the newest cases are in Middle Tennessee for a total of 5 in that region. The 3rd new case is in East Tennessee. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Stephanie Skurlock.
And I'm Greg Hurst. These developments come as the state decides to limit what information it will release about confirmed cases of the coronavirus. It will no longer, for instance, identify patients by county, instead being more vague with these regions.
WREG's Janae Lewis spoke to advocacy groups who say this lack of transparency will hurt the public in the long run.
As we all work to learn more about coronavirus, Tennessee is giving less information about confirmed cases, citing privacy.
But I think that is doesn't make a lot of sense. The county with the least population in Tennessee still has 5,000 people in it. So even if you said that county had 1 case, I don't see how that would even come close to identifying who that person is.
Deborah Fisher with the Tennessee Coalition for Open Government says this decision doesn't protect anyone in reality.
Well, West Tennessee is a large place, and to think that if you're living in Shelby County and something way on the other side of West Tennessee, has a confirmed case, it seems to me that would cause more panic in places where it doesn't need to cause.
Governor Bill Lee responding to some of the criticism.
Patient privacy is a very important issue in this, and we find that we have to find the right balance between information that's helpful and patient privacy.
But Fisher says with other states releasing more information, being kept in the dark here can actually heighten concern unnecessarily.
This is a public safety issue. The public needs to be able to know where these cases have been confirmed. And, if there are a cluster of cases in certain counties.
State leaders haven't said if this policy could change as the number of cases goes up. Reporting in Memphis, Janae Lewis, WREG News Channel 3.
Now, late this afternoon, the Tennessee Department of Health told us officials in 6 counties in the state's metropolitan areas will still announce new cases there, and that includes Shelby County.
In the meantime, 6 Memphis firefighters who were placed in a precautionary quarantine yesterday after they were potentially exposed to the coronavirus during a medical call have today been cleared. It's been determined they're not at risk any further. But this exemplifies the threat first responders face during this outbreak. WREG's Stacey Jacobson is live at the Memphis Fire Department with what she's learned about their proactive measures. What do you know, Stacey?
Well, Greg, firefighters tell us they're already on high alert about germs, bacteria, potential illnesses, so they spend a lot of time sanitizing the ambulances before and after they go out. So really, when it comes to the coronavirus, not that much is changing.
Cleaning with medical-grade wipes. That's pretty much the standard for the Memphis Fire Department, whether they're facing a coronavirus outbreak or anything else.
We have patients with the flu all the time, and we take precautions for that. Patients with tuberculosis.
So he says when they think they might be responding to a patient with coronavirus, they'll do the same thing they always do.
Putting a mask on the patient, having a mask on our responders is what we typically do.
An EMS employee shows us one of those masks. It covers both the mouth and face. They're also following CDC guidelines for keeping a distance.
We've been trained for universal precautions, and that universal precautions just means that every patient that we encounter, we don't know what they may have that we don't want. We have protocols in place for interviewing patients and asking certain questions. They may be back about 6 feet from the patients and asking them some questions. But of course, we have to interact with patients. We have to treat patients.
He says that means during this time and all the time, they're putting the public's needs ahead of their own.
I also asked them what they're doing, if anything, differently with fire trucks. They say that protocol has not changed. We're live in Victorian Village. Stacey Jacobson, WREG, News Channel 3.
All right, thank you, Stacey. Well, the coronavirus hasn't hit Arkansas yet, but local leaders are staying prepared in case it does. Leaders in Crittenden County and West Memphis say they're adding sanitation areas in public spaces like schools, county buildings, and Southland Casino. Doctors encourage special attention should be given to high-risk groups.
The basic focus here at Crittenden County should be our assisted living and the nursing homes. So we need to take some measures to make sure the entrance to those elderly population is kind of restricted.
City and county leaders have an emergency management plan for how to handle confirmed cases of coronavirus. That starts with confirmation through testing, but at this time, tests are not available in that area. The Memphis Grizzlies and FedEx Forum are taking precautions ahead of tonight's home game. The venue is cleaning high traffic areas more frequently and has additional hand sanitizing stations. The NBA is restricting access to locker rooms, allowing only essential personnel and no media. It's also asking players not to make contact with fans. The league will speak with team owners tomorrow about more preventative steps, including the possibility of playing games without fans present.
President Trump is urging Americans to stay calm, saying the coronavirus will go away. The president has not been tested for the virus, even though he has come in contact with 5 people who are now self-quarantining. Those include Florida Congressman Matt Gaetz, who traveled with the president on Air Force One yesterday, and other lawmakers who came into contact with an infected individual at a conference.
I guess it's not a big deal to get tested, and something I would do. But again, spoke to the White House doctor, terrific guy, talented guy. He said he sees no reason to do it.
The president was on Capitol Hill today to discuss his proposals for protecting the economy from the outbreak. He's pushing payroll tax relief, help for hourly wage earners, and aid to the cruise ship and airline industries, something we will continue to follow. But now it's time to get a first look at your forecast, and we're getting a break from the rain, at least for now. But the stormy weather isn't going anywhere fast and could get severe within the next day or so.
And we know who's tracking it. Let's check in with weather expert Jim Jaggers for a first look at a very wet forecast. Jim, fill us in.
We got the break today that we expected. I told you we would probably see some sunshine today. We're seeing a lot of it right now. This is the News Channel 3 broadcast hour at I-40 and Whitten Road. We're looking at some high cirrostratus clouds. We're looking at some clouds on Storm Tracker 3S as well. But you see a clearing line back here in Arkansas. We may see that a little bit later on this evening. Temperatures are a little bit cooler than they have been. 58 degrees here at News Channel 3. Our high today 61, our low 54, and just a couple of hundredths of an inch of rain after midnight last night. Well, temperatures did get down to around 57 degrees as we forecast up into the 60s, but not very far into the 60s. We expect to drop down into the 40s tonight in the forecast. We're looking at partly cloudy skies. If you're going to be going out, you might want to take a jacket and keep that umbrella handy. I don't think we're going to see any rainfall in the forecast for this evening, but tomorrow, yeah, we've got some storms to deal with, and we'll track them in the forecast coming up.
Okay, we'll see you in a few minutes, Jim. And new at 5, a WREG investigation shows interstate safety continues to be a major issue for the Mid-South as law enforcement continues to look for answers.
Yes, answers to problems of road rage. Our Peter Fleischer is live now. Peter, just how bad has the problem gotten?
It's gotten worse than last year, and that's actually saying something. You can look over my shoulder here and see the rush hour commute. That's where tens of thousands of people use the interstate to get home every day. But recent numbers from police show a 62% increase in gun-related incidents. It's a disturbing trend that's seemingly on the rise. 2019 saw a disturbing reality for drivers around Memphis, and since the turn of the calendar, it's been even worse. MPD stats obtained by WREG show 13 interstate incidents involving drivers being shot or shot at so far in 2020. There were only 8 at this time last year. And even without gunfire, safety appears to be an issue.
I immediately knew that there was a problem there. You know, I was in danger.
Gwen Smith says she was recently getting on Interstate 240 near Brooks Road when another driver began tailing her, following her for miles. She called 911.
She guided me off the interstate into the precinct on Mount Moriah and had an officer meet me there.
But before she could make it to the police station, it got worse.
I got stopped by a red light and he approached my car So when I saw him approaching, I had to get out of the traffic, run the red light, and that's when I lost him.
Smith has noticed an increased police presence on her daily commute as MPD and TDOT search for a permanent solution to interstate issues.
I see them every morning coming to work and going home. That night I did not see one. I was looking for one. I was begging for one.
If you're a victim of a crime or if you witness an incident on the interstates, on the streets, or anywhere in the city of Memphis, call Memphis Police.
Smith commends MPD for their preparedness, hoping other women driving alone will be aware of their surroundings.
She told me that I did exactly the right thing and call 911 and go to a police precinct, but that was it. It could end very badly.
Again, if you're involved in an incident on the interstate, you're asked to call law enforcement immediately. Please do not engage with any other driver. Reporting live in South Memphis, Peter Fleischer, WREG News Channel 3.
Hopefully cooler heads will prevail. Peter, thanks. From your election headquarters tonight, Mississippi is one of 6 states holding primary elections today. The Democratic race for president is down to just 2 men. After Super Tuesday last week, Joe Biden is leading Bernie Sanders in the delegate count. Tulsi Gabbard is technically still in the competition, but has only 2 delegates. Mississippians are also voting in 3 U.S. House races and 1 U.S. Senate race. Polls are open until 7. We'll have the results on WREG.com and tonight on the news at 10.
Coming up, local community centers under investigation. We'll tell you what changes the city says it's making after some possibly fraudulent activity was found.